Make sure we're recording real quick. Okay. Scoop my chair. What, you got something to say? Do you have something to say? Read it. No chance, mate. No chance, brother. Look, bro. It was fun. It was fun, you know? It was cool, you know? But our expectations are getting a bit too high. This gonna be a fun one right here. This gonna be fun. This gonna be real fun. But come on, let's be serious. Where are my manners? Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? How's your mama? How's your family? Dan Hooker is massively overrated. Ridiculously overrated. And I would like to add, he stands no chance against Rufus. No chance. Yeah. Gaethje just got flatlined. Just got flatlined by Max Holloway. A lot of things went wrong for Gaethje. And I just sprayed everywhere. For Gaethje in that fight. I ain't gonna lie. That was a bad KO. That is a potential career-ending KO. But I don't predict fights off of things that I have yet to see signs of. You know, he had a broken nose in that fight that he dealt with for 4 rounds. Poked in the eye about 5 times. Not trying to take no credit away from Max because he absolutely dismantled Justin Gaethje, and I loved it because I've been a Justin Gaethje hater on this channel. I love what he brings to the fight game. I love the excitement he brings. But let's stop when we start talking about championship caliber and this and that. Let's just nip that shit in the bud. That shit a joke. That shit a game. And that's exactly how I feel about Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's not even on Justin Gaethje's level, bruh. You gotta understand who's saying this. Like, you gotta understand who I am when I'm saying this. This is signed, by the way. I probably shouldn't be wearing it. You gotta understand who I am when I'm saying this. It's levels to this shit. People bring up the scrap he had with DP. That was 5 years ago, buddy. It's levels to this shit, for real, though. And the reason I know that he's fucked, excuse my language, I know he don't stand no chance, because did we forget this what we just watched? If you don't know, this is Mateusz Gamrot landing a short, not a lot behind right hand on Hooker's chin and dropping him in the first round of their fight. He went to war with Gamrot. You think he finna go to war with Gaethje? On the feet. On the feet. He just went to war with Mateusz Gamrot in a fight that I don't even think he won. Rewatch it. I had bets on Dan Hooker that night. I had Dan Hooker plus 3.5 that night on the casual parlay. Do your homework. In a fight I don't even think he won. What? Just went to on the feet. Now Mateusz Gamrot, you know, he down there with DP. You know, he got some nice 1-2s. He got some fast, nice boxing. Known for not having any power. Known for not being a finishing threat. And he gave Hooker a war. It was a great moment that Hooker gave us on the stool when he was, I love this. But when we look at the context, that's Mateusz Gamrot that got you like that, my brother. You fighting Justin Gaethje. And if you wasn't here to love this Dan Hooker, don't be here now to love the one that has spent all his VC, all this, you know, on tats. If you wasn't here for this one right here, that was a good fight. That was the art of war. 48-46. Damn, I don't remember 48-46. 10-8 in the fourth. Anyways, I think this is gonna sound crazy because it's a crazy resurgence in his career. You know, he's back in the top 5 since 2020, since getting knocked out brutally by Michael Chandler. That has affected his chin for the rest. He hasn't been able to take. He has been able to take shots. He gets hurt. He just recovers. He has really good recovery. So I guess his chin is good. He does have a good chin because he recovers very well. He gets wobbled, but he recovers very well. So, yeah, he has a good chin. But I think the Dan Hooker that stepped in there against Dustin Poirier was the best Dan Hooker we've ever seen. I think the Dan Hooker that stepped in there with Dustin Poirier is better than the Dan Hooker today. Better than the Dan Hooker that fought Jalen Turner, who was getting pieced up. Jalen Turner missed weight in that fight. Not an excuse, great win for Dan Hooker, but Jalen Turner was destroying Dan Hooker in the beginning of that fight. Jalen Turner was so out of it and so tired, he could not get to his feet. With 20 seconds remaining in the second round, he could not stand. He had to get his team had to come lift him up off the ground to put him on a stool and tell him, you have one more round. That fight ended up going to decision. Gamrot's a guy we know has a really, really bad chin. Dan Hooker hurt Mateus Gamrot in that fight. That fight went to decision. I think Dan Hooker is much slower. He has more muscle mass on his frame. I think he's much slower. He's never been technical. Not technical. He's never been fast. That's what I meant to say. He's never been crisp. You know? He's always had that wide here, hands out to the side, very hittable. You know? Has good kicks. I ain't gonna lie. His kicks are really good. I mean, but just look at him. The kick's clearly high. Why are we swiping away? Broke his face bone with that kick. He ate that too. That was gangster. I really like Dan Hooker. Really, really fun fighter. But it's when we take these fun fighters and we start putting them in championship talks. We did it with BSD. Fun fighter. Marauder. Give you a good fight. All of a sudden, he beating Dustin Poirier? Staffgate. But he beating Dustin Poirier? Dan Hooker, nowadays, he's modern day Nate Diaz. Not a lot of sting behind those punches. They're not really fast. But he's crafty in there. He got some crafty combinations. You know? Hard noggin on him. Wears a lot of damage early, a lot of scar tissue. Modern day Nate Diaz. They ain't gonna like this one. Yeah, back to it. I don't think he won that Mateus Gamrot fight. Rewatching it. Y'all rewatch it, let me know in the comments. Gamrot was robbed. Gamrot was robbed. I think he won the first 2 rounds. Seriously. Anyways. So, going to war with Mateus Gamrot on the feet. Split decision. Could have went any other way. On the feet, yeah, there's some wrestling in that fight, but Mateus made it competitive on the feet. Dan Hooker, all he knows is brawl. All he knows is get in your face, make it ugly, let's brawl. How is he going to beat Justin Gaethje? He's slower. Much slower. Less technical than Justin Gaethje is crazy. It's crazy. Doesn't hit as hard. Not as durable. How is he beating Rufus? Hey, you want to talk about damage? It was Justin Gaethje just get knocked out. I mean, there's no other person to look to when we talk about damage. Look what Michael Chandler did to him. Debut bomb. Face bone broken. Dustin Poirier had that man. I thought he was... I'm going to get a little serious here. Seeing Dan Hooker getting loaded into the ambulance like that, groaning, like real deal. Like, I'm not even trying to make a joke. I was concerned for his life. Like, a thought went through my mind, like, bro, Dan Hooker might pass away at the hospital. Like, I never wish that upon. Like, that's not even something I would joke about. But I, like, genuinely thought that his life was in danger. That was a war. But yeah, come on, man. Don't talk to me about damage and don't do that shit, bro. I don't want to hear that shit. Nobody outbrawls Gaethje. Okay. That's crazy. I'm sounding like a Gaethje fan. I promise you I'm not. But Max Holloway brutally knocked out Justin Gaethje. Yes. In the last 10 seconds were a brawl. Yes. Max Holloway, that was the most technical Max Holloway performance that I think I've ever seen. And I'm looking back at the Aldo fights. Both. Max Holloway systematically broke Justin Gaethje down with body kicks, working the body, punches upstairs, making Gaethje miss. He was out kickboxing Justin Gaethje before it got wild in the last 10 seconds. Somebody else you might be thinking of. Dustin Poirier does a great job of, while he's boxing, making it look like a brawl, but he's as technical as ever. He's making it look, he's kind of suckering you into a brawl, while the whole time his eyes are always locked in on the target. He's checking, he's rolling, he's deflecting. But if you want to say he out brawl Gaethje there, I'm like, Poirier's my guy, you know? So all I know is he had Gaethje. I ain't gonna get disrespectful. But I don't really look at that as a brawl. I don't. Gaethje was brawling. Poirier stayed technical. He was getting beat up. His legs were getting chewed out. I want to say he was down on the cards. Stayed technical. Knew he could time the shots. Timed the beautiful backhand off of a leg kick. And this is what happened. I'm thinking about Eddie Alvarez now. Even that fight, Eddie Alvarez was... I remember Joe Rogan. Oh, Eddie Alvarez his boxing is on point tonight. Because that's the Gaethje who used to come, Rufus, you know? Eddie Alvarez was outboxing him. 1-2. 1-2, hook. Stepping off to the side, pivoting. Giving him all the box combos. But like brawl for brawl, Michael Chandler tried to brawl Justin Gaethje. No. You just not finna get in a slugfest. Who's the better man with Gaethje? It's just not gonna happen. Dan Hooker's not built for this, y'all. Like, it was fun, but as soon as you start putting championship aspirations on these fighters, it's like, bro, relax. Just let him be the fun fighter. Dan Hooker will never in his life fight for a belt. Stop this shit, yo. Then favorable matchups. Like, I'm not trying to tear this dude apart, but Mateus Gamrot, very favorable matchup. A guy who, yes, he's a wrestler. Not great control. Also, not durable. Not durable at all. Gets rocked in every single fight. You got Jalen Turner. That's a good matchup. I ain't gonna lie, that's a good match. Jalen Turner did not handle his business. He was not. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was an injury. I don't know if he was sick. But Jalen Turner not came in on weight. Did not come in the right condition. And even that was a split decision. Jalen Turner was beating Dan Hooker ass in the first round. If you kind of forgot, and it was my first ever international fight week. I was in Vegas. If you need to re-jog your memory, watch that fight. Claudio Pauliet, jiu-jitsu nerd. Arnold Allen, we can kind of get out on the asterisk, that was at featherweight. Arnold Allen ran through him. That's where his speed was really exposed. Islam Makhachev, no shame in that. How is he beating Rufus? How is he doing it? Like, how, subscribe, man. Let me know what you think. Is Dan Hooker really that guy? Does he stand a chance against Gaethje? If you say yeah, I think it's utterly silly. And I'm willing to put whatever on it. I think it's silly, dude. I think it's silly. I really do. I think Dan Hooker's going to get exposed, and then everybody's going to turn on him. When it was just your fault for putting that expectation on him. But whatever. Like, comment, subscribe, help with the algorithm. You ain't got to be stingy, man. Shot me. You got to go home, but you got to get up out of here, man. Yeah.